Hey, Dr. Broly, I hope you're having a good week. This is going to be my entry to our forum for this week, talking about my testimony, which I love talking about my testimony. I used to hate talking about my testimony because I felt like I was very eye-centric, and I'm a pretty eye-centric person, so I try to avoid it because I'm working on that spiritual growth. You feel me? I'm not looking in the camera, am I? But, no, so my testimony. I mean, I grew up in the church. My mom was starting my early life. She was a preschool teacher at a small church preschool that then led to her becoming the preschool director at a small church preschool, which turned it into a big church preschool, which moved her into being the preschool minister because we were Southern Baptist. They didn't let us call her that. Which then turned into moving to Florida, where she was a kids minister. She did the whole pastor job thing. But yeah, so I grew up in the church. I wasn't a PK, but I was basically a PK. I grew up running around. One of my earliest memories is sitting on the desk of the welcome desk of the church, eating pizza at 9 o'clock at night because my mom had work to do. So yeah, I grew up in the church. For the longest time, I thought that was all that mattered. I remember being 5 years old, being asked what I wanted to do in kindergarten, like what I wanted to do when I grew up, and I said I wanted to be a pastor, and they asked me why, and I said, because pastors have really pretty wives. But then, yeah, when I was 8 years old, at a vacation Bible school, it's airplane themed. I just remember running around going, because it was like a fighter jet themed. And I was goofing around with some friends, and I wasn't paying attention to what they were saying, but then I heard something about coming down the altar. I saw a bunch of friends go down the altar, so I'm like, I'm going to go down too, see what they're doing. Maybe we're playing a game. Weren't playing a game. We were giving our lives to Christ. Yeah, and I was down there, and I just kind of let it happen. I got dunked the next week. There's held me to the bubble stop, and all that stuff, and I thought I was fine. I was 8 years old. I was fine. Then from 8 to 14, I didn't live a single thing that I was baptized for. I got into fights. I was a bully. All these things. I sucked. And yeah, and I sucked. I thought I was fine. I thought I was a Christian. I thought everything was working out because I went and got dunked in some water, not realizing that I was on the fast track to hell. Until one night, I was listening to a sermon it wasn't even a pastor, it was one of our youth ministry volunteers, and it rocks me. It completely rocks me. And they give that salvation moment, come down to the altar if you want to get saved, and I don't move. Do not move a muscle. I'm like, okay, yeah, cool sermon, made my eyes water up, but I'm going to go home now. We're playing dodgeball, so that's way more important. But that night, I'm in the shower, and I didn't have Spotify yet because I didn't have a job and I was broke. So I had YouTube, and I'm listening to music on YouTube. My speaker's outside the shower, my phone's outside the shower. And I listened to country music. I was like George Strait or something, because I was a little hick. Then out of nowhere, this song, "How He Loves" by David Crowder comes on. And in that moment, everything clicked. Like, I wasn't just somebody who got their life. Like, I didn't just get dunked in the water. My life needed to be different. I needed to give my life. It couldn't be mine. And hearing those words, He is jealous for me. He loves like a hurricane, and I am a tree, bending beneath His weight and mercy, shocked me. It shook me. It rocked me to my core. On my knees, on my bathroom floor, at 14 years old, I give my life to Jesus. And then you think, everything's rocking and rolling from there. He's boom, 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 follows that line. He's a pastor, all that stuff, everything. But absolutely not. I still stayed with my same crowd that I hung out with from 14 to 16. And I didn't change. I mean, True, there was a change on the inside. The Holy Spirit was in my life, but I was really good at telling it to shut up. Because I thought that I could witness to my friends and not that they were going to tear me down. Then at 16, 2020, the world shuts down. And my mom lets me know, she goes, hey, we're moving from Louisiana to Florida. We're moving exactly 1,000 miles away. It's your sophomore year of high school. Pack your bags, let's go. And I remember being so mad at God. I got into a relationship the moment I got there. I don't know why, but I just did. And then when that ended, about 3 months later, I truly was the darkest part of my life. My friends from Louisiana weren't talking to me anymore. I acted the way that I acted back in Louisiana there in Florida, so none of the people in Florida wanted to hang out with me. The girl I was with didn't want to talk to me, and I was at my lowest. At church that night, I told my mom, like, hey, I'm going to go to Chick-fil-A with some friends. She was stoked. She's like, Mitchell's hanging out with friends. That is awesome. She doesn't even know this part. But that night, I don't go to Chick-fil-A, like I said. I pull up to a parking garage. Lakeland, the city I was in, had all these free parking garages you can go to at night, and they're all over the city. And I pulled all the way to the top, and I sat down right at the edge, and I dangled my feet off. I was going to end it all. I was. And for the first time in a long time, I sat in prayer, not expecting to hear anything. Really, just I didn't know what to do. It was gonna be my like storybook ending goodbye. This part that gets me. In that moment, I heard a voice say, Mitchell, I'm not done with you yet. You gave your life away. Your life is no longer your own. And it's something that has sat with me for so long now. Is that moment in my heart I realized my life wasn't mine to take anymore. I gave my life away. It was no longer mine. It's no longer I who lives, but Jesus Christ who lives in me. And ever since then, I was 17 years old. I mean, radically different. I felt a call to ministry immediately after that. I got opportunities to teach. I got to lead Bible studies. I got to walk my friends through salvation because I finally realized that my life wasn't my life anymore. As 2 Corinthians 5:20 says, I am an ambassador, and it is Christ making his appeal through me, because he who knew no sin became sin, so that me, a sinner, could become a son of God. And I almost threw that away. But because of the Lord and his goodness and his faithfulness and his, as Jesus says, not one put in his hand would he lose. My life was saved. Not just my spiritual life, but my physical life was saved. Saved for myself. In the same way I was on the fast track to hell, I was on the fast track to death because I was trying to take my life in my own hands instead of falling back into the creator of my life. And it's been everything for me. I mean, I've never been the same. Of course, things have still happened, good things, bad things. I ended up here somehow. But all I can think about ever since that moment is, great is your faithfulness, O God, my Father. There is no shadow of turning to thee. Thou changest not, thou compassionate fails not. I mean, my life has been nothing but compassion and faithfulness and faithfulness and faithfulness and faithfulness. And Mitchell screwed up, but the Lord's still faithful. And Mitchell screws up, and the Lord's still faithful. And I made this person mad. I ruined an opportunity, but the Lord's still faithful. He's going to guide me to some doors. I'm going to get this opportunity completely set up, and I'm going to say, I want to go do something else. I'm going to run away from a door that God opened, but God's still faithful. Whew, he's good. I don't know what else to say, but he's good. But yeah, that's my testimony. I'm going to go, sing a praise song now because I just thought about that. I'll see you tomorrow.